what you find is the people who were burning the most fat eat less food. So if you're good at burning fat, you eat less food.
Can I ask about metabolic flexibility?
So metabolic flexibility is the idea that you want your body to be burning different fuels depending on the metabolic state. So in the fasted state, in the morning before you haven't eaten any breakfast, um, you want your body to be burning fat. You want your body to be good at burning fat. And what you find is people who are insulin resistant and people who are obese, um, their bodies are less good at burning fat. So of the calories their body's burning, they're burning fewer fat calories and more carbohydrate calories. So being good at burning fat in the fasted state is a good thing. So the idea is if you then have some sugar, metabolic flexibility says that your body then is able to switch to burning sugar better. So basically, in a fasted state, it can burn fat. In the fed state, when you've got high carbohydrate, it's good at burning sugar. That's the concept. So I think that being able to burn fat is really really important, and I think that's probably one of the fundamental things that we need to try and get our bodies to do. We need to try and get our bodies better at burning fat.
And that
Um,
was my next question. Is
yeah,
that a fixed thing? Is that a genetic thing? Or is that something we can promote by a certain lifestyle?
the fuels our body burns changes all the time. So if you eat some food with carbohydrate, your body burns a bit more carbohydrate. So we do change the fuel mix. So this isn't just the number of calories we burn. This is whether the calories are coming from, let's keep this simple, carbohydrate or fat. We've got protein in the mix as well, but let's just consider carbohydrate and fat. So if you drink a can of sugary pop, what happens is your body starts burning more carbohydrate. And one of the key things that happens is when you're doing that, your body isn't burning fat. So some of the reason that having sort of excess carbohydrates can help you store fat and make it harder to lose fat, particularly when you're in positive energy balance, is what happens is the body is burning carbohydrate instead of fat. And to lose fat, you need to be burning more fat than you're consuming. And if you're not burning fat because you're burning carbohydrate instead, you're not losing your fat. And so what makes your body burn more fat? So the first is being in negative energy balance. So or being fasted. So if you haven't eaten any food after an overnight fast, and what you can do is you can measure the mix of the fuels your body's using by a process called indirect calorimetry, where you catch the breath that you breathe out, and from the proportion of oxygen you use and carbon dioxide you produce, you can work out what fuels your body's using. So what happens after an overnight fast is you're burning more fat. Um, we know that in the hours after you do exercise, your body is burning more fat. Um, we know that people who are leaner tend to burn more fat, and if you've lost weight, your body tends to burn more fat. So there's a number of things that you can do to change the fuel mix that your body has. Um, being good at burning fat um, might be important in terms of appetite control and hunger. Um, so we've done some studies, and others have done studies which have shown the same thing, to show that if you do a bout of exercise and then on the next day, look at the calories you're burning. So in the day following exercise compared to not, look at how many extra fat calories you're burning the next day compared to not. Um, and then if you feed people a buffet meal, so you present food to them and then you just ask them to eat until they're full and then stop eating, and you measure how much food they eat. What you find is the people who um, were were burning the most fat eat less food. So if you're good at burning fat, you eat less food, and other people. Um, so um, uh, Mark Hopkins has also shown that if you do an exercise session and you measure the proportion of carbohydrate and fat you burn in the exercise session and feed someone a meal afterwards, the people who burn more fat during the exercise session eat less food later on. So being good at burning fat is metabolically good for you, but it also might have an effect on how much food you choose to eat in the future, and therefore have an effect on body weight maintenance.